Acnologia was feared and highly known as the Dragon King during the series of Fairy Tale. He was originally a human who lived in peace with dragons and often healed them and got along with them. As time went by, the dragons would go to war and Acnologia would eventually be betrayed, causing him to go down a dark, lonely path where he wants to kill all dragons. Today we're going to talk about if his actions up until now were really justified. Acnologia has done a lot in his time as a dragon slayer, destroying countless cities and having no regard for pretty much everything. But what were the events that led to Acnologia becoming who he is now and to become this dragon-obsessed killer? His past takes a dark turn and shows us very well why his actions might have made sense for the things that he did. Acnologia was once a doctor who lived with dragons in peace. He talked to a dragon who he admired and cared for named Acnologia, who was the divine guardian. We never knew Acnologia's real name before taking the name Acnologia, but he was a doctor. The dragon Acnologia warns the doctor that a new type of dragon killing magic has emerged on the western continent. The doctor cannot believe that humans have been able to gather power able to slay dragons. Acnologia then sets out to find out if the rumors are true of this dragon slayer magic. The doctor knew his weaknesses and how he did not have enough power to be able to stop a war between humans and dragons if that were to happen. We eventually see a city is being destroyed as he is powerless against it. The biggest moment for the doctor was when his divine guardian Acnologia would eventually return, only to be on the side of the dragons that wanted to destroy the humans. This betrayal really messed up the doctor as he thought of Acnologia as a great friend, only to be betrayed and cast aside. The doctor was confused, not understanding why dragons and humans could not exist together. He looks out to a city as everything and everyone was burned and devoured. He garners this hate and despise for Acnologia the dragon he once trusted. This is how this doctor's hate for dragons would just begin. He knew the feeling of helplessness, not being able to do anything while the dragons continue to harm everything in their path and stop at nothing to destroy the humans. He now aims to look for the dragon slayer magic and use it to make the dragons bleed and go through the things that he went through. It was never revealed who taught him dragon slayer magic and how he learned it, but he was very good with it once achieving it. We see the doctor now with dragon slaying abilities and a completely new look as he spreads rumors of a dragon hunting slayer who is killing dragons one by one. He finds a dragon in a cave where humans were offering villagers as sacrifices to be able to survive. The doctor had long forgotten his name and now he realized he will never forget the name of the dragon who betrayed him, Acnologia. With this, his name is now Acnologia. He wanted dragons to fear him and never forget the name of the dragon he so despised. He feels sorry for not being able to protect a little girl who was killed by dragons and wants to slaughter them all. Acnologia used so much of dragon slayer magic that he ends up becoming a dragon himself. A human becoming a dragon was not good because the human side could not really control the dragon side in them, which caused him to go insane and become corrupt. We had seen these examples from Acnologia and Irene, who were both human who turned into dragons due to overusing dragon slayer magic. This corruption changed Acnologia over time, causing him to be who he is now. He was someone who was never satisfied and continued in his quest to take down dragons. His corruption stemmed from his relentless pursuit of more power and his willingness to go to extreme lengths to achieve it. As he continued to use his dragon slayer magic, he began to take on the characteristics of a dragon. Over time, his body underwent a transformation and he became a dragon himself. This transformation was not only physical but also mental as he lost his humanity and became a creature driven solely by his desire for power and destruction. Acnologia's corruption is a cautionary tale about the dangers of overusing and misusing magic. It serves as a reminder to that power, when pursued blindly and recklessly, can lead to one's own downfall. His transformation into a dragon symbolizes the loss of his humanity and the extent to which his lust for power consumed him. I think this lust for power eventually caused loneliness for Acnologia as there was no one else in the world who could stand to his power. All he wanted eventually was a challenge and no one could give it to him. One of the key themes of Fairy Tail is the importance of friendship and the bonds between characters. Throughout the series, the protagonists form deep and meaningful relationships with each other, which empower them and help them overcome various challenges. In stark contrast, Acnologia's relentless pursuit of power led to his complete isolation and detachment from any form of companionship or camaraderie. Acnologia's loneliness is exemplified by his actions. He becomes a merciless and solitary dragon, roaming the world and indiscriminately destroying everything in his path. His sheer power and cruelty further alienate him from others, making him a figure of dread and despair. Despite his fearsome exterior and ruthless demeanor, there are moments in the series that hint at the underlying sadness of Acnologia's character. These moments serve to humanize him, showing that there is more to a story than just being a mindless antagonist. There are glimpses of regret and longing for something he lost along the way, which adds depth to his character. Ultimately, Acnologia's loneliness is a tragic consequence of his obsession with power and the destructive path he chose. It serves as a reminder of the importance of connections and relationships in the world of fairy tale and highlights the destructive nature of unchecked ambition. While he remains a formidable adversary throughout the series, his loneliness is a poignant element that adds complexity to his character and invokes sympathy from the audience despite his villainous actions. Now, are Acnologia's actions truly justified? This question can be answered both ways, but it is a complex one for me. I think his actions can be justified for himself. His family and city were destroyed, and he was betrayed by a dragon who he thought was his divine guardian. He lived in an era where there was more war than ever, and he had to get stronger to survive and defeat dragons in his own way. He didn't get to meet a nice kind dragon like others did, and instead viewed all of them as insignificant and destructive monsters. His whole life changed, and when he overused his dragon powers, he became corrupted and seized for more power. We rarely only see him go after dragons, but can remain stoic and unchanged from words of humans. He's not a dragon nor human anymore and cannot sympathize with anyone. He's just a lone king trying to gather after everything. Zareth even questions Acnologia's methods, as he has the power to rule the world, but chooses not to. All the pain and suffering that Acnologia went through was tremendous, and his actions so far really made up who he was. He was someone who wanted to achieve everything and was known as the Dragon King. His philosophy was to have a world of no more dragons, leading to his onslaught over and over again. My biggest problem with Acnologia is his hypocritical stance. It was pointed out already by Natsu, but Acnologia wants to get rid of all the dragons in the world, but he himself is also a dragon. Does that mean that Acnologia would also kill himself once the last dragon was slain? I personally don't think that would happen. I think Acnologia thinks to himself if he could just destroy one more dragon, rid the world of all the dragons just one more time, then it will make up for the people who were lost by dragons. This isn't true. No matter how many dragons Acnologia kills, those people will never come back. He was also betrayed by a dragon, so this messed him up mentally, causing him to never really talk to anyone again. Not every dragon is good or evil, and Acnologia failed to realize that. He was someone who sought after everything, only to realize that you cannot have everything, and that is why you should cherish the things that you do have. Acnologia failed to realize this only until his last moments, where he gives the title of king to Natsu. He lived the rest of his days alone, trying to achieve some lifelong revenge toward and make up for what the dragons did to him. I think his actions were justified, and he could have learned about certain dragons and their kindness, just like how Natsu did. He was unfortunately met with bad dragons and failed to see if there were any good ones, leading him to becoming a maniac. Let me know if you guys think Agnolia's problems were justified or not. His character is very complex and a very good antagonist for Fairy Tail. I'm glad we were able to see someone like Acnologia. Well, I thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back in the next one. Peace.